welcome to Judging by the Title, the podcast where we take a movie we've never seen and tell you what we think it's about based just on the title. Then, halfway through the podcast, we break to go watch the movie and then come back to talk about just how wrong we were. Or how right we were. Probably how wrong we were. On this episode, we have my friend, the wonderful Julia Shah. Hey everybody, welcome to episode either 3 or 4 of the Judging by the Title podcast. Still figuring out the episode order. But I
surprised. You'll be surprised.
Surprised. But I am here with my good friend Julia Shah. Say hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia.
You think you're funny. I like.
Yeah, I have my moments.
You're the first person who's done that. I'm impressed.
Really?
I'm impressed.
Opportunity missed for all the other people.
All right, so today we are going to be talking about Almost Famous. The movie Almost Famous. Yes. Just to clarify, again, neither of us have seen this movie. We have both tried to avoid getting any information about it for the most part. So we're just basically pulling this out of our butts and
exactly
trying to figure out what this movie's about. So, Almost Famous.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be definitely a predictable movie, whichever way it goes. I feel like it's definitely going to be something like, oh, I totally saw that coming. I don't think it's going to be any surprises.
Yeah, and so Almost Famous, so not quite famous, and it's predictable.
Almost. Yes, for sure.
So what or who is predictably almost famous?
So, okay, so I almost kind of cheated away. I saw, like, the picture of it, so I know it's going to be, like, this blonde chick. And I feel like she's going to be that predictable main character. Like, she might be this, like, struggling actress or something like that. And then maybe she gets famous or she gets very close to it, but then she finds, oh, it was more important what was the inside than, being famous or something like that. Like some kind of like journey in that kind of way. That's what I was like thinking.
Right, so a blonde girl
realizes
that being real is better than being famous, kind of?
Maybe. I feel like I have like so many different theories of what's gonna happen, like, but they're gonna be all like kind of like predictable kind of things. Like, so like it'd be either like she like this entire time she was trying to become famous in some way, doesn't get it, but then realizes her life was already fulfilling, that kind of a thing. Or she actually does end up becoming famous, even though it says almost famous. But just the entire movie, up until like the last like few minutes, she was almost famous or something.
Yeah.
But one of those things.
I think we're making assumptions also that she is an actress, which is you can get famous by doing a lot of things. You can get famous, you can get infamous. You can be a famous actor. You could be a famous curling player. You can be a famous criminal. And I feel
there we go. Oh, that would take a nice turn.
Yeah. Like, what if she was a famous criminal and she was
I like that.
Committed the crimes in order to get famous, but she never quite got famous. She just ended up getting arrested. Yeah. So she was almost famous. But
no.
And
got jail instead.
What if the whole time she's like committing, I feel like we're onto something, is that she's like committing.
Yes.
I think you're right that it's going to be predictable but it's going to be predictable in the sense that she's going to commit crimes and get arrested. But the unpredictable part is that the only thing she's going to be upset about isn't the possibility of going to jail for the rest of her life. She's going to be upset that the crimes didn't make her famous.
Exactly. Didn't get the status you wanted.
Yeah. So, like, what crimes would she... First, let's give this girl a name. What's a good name for this blonde girl?
It has to be some basic white girl name for sure. That's what I don't know. Maybe No, we get maybe like we'll do like Felicia or something like that.
Felicia Emily Karen the third.
Yes.
We have a friend named Emily. No shade to Emily.
A little bit.
Felicia Emily Karen the third.
Yes.
And she has committed crimes in order to try to get famous. What kind of crimes would you commit in order to try to get famous?
Maybe some kind of like a heist or something, or like she's something with money, because you know if she wants to be famous, I mean, I figured she would also want to have a lot of money, right? So maybe she like robs a really big bank or something.
Yeah, yes, she robs a bank. She robs like a really big bank because she's seen bank robberies in movies, and she gets like her...
Yes, and she thinks I got this, like I know it.
And she gets like her... Yes, exactly. She's like, I know this. Yes. I've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I've seen fucking Thelma and Louise. I've seen... I don't know if there's a bank robbery in that movie, actually. I've seen Money Heist. I've seen The Joker, and I know how a bank robbery works, except she doesn't rob like the big like state bank. She robs like a random like Freedom Chase.
Oh my god, yes.
She just robs like a random chase, and she gets in there and she's like, give me all your money, and they're like, no.
Yeah. And they're not afraid of her at all. Like, she's probably wearing like high heels and something not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
Like,
she has a gun, but she doesn't know how it works.
Yes. Or like maybe even like a water gun or something, like to look like an actual gun, but it's not. And they're like, we see totally right through you.
Yeah, that was a Freudian slip. We see totally white through you.
Yeah.
But she she would bring a water gun, and she'd have like painted it black or spray painted it black to be like, oh, this is a real gun. But then obviously like someone in the bank is like, that's a super soaker. But she gets and they just like call the police, and she immediately gets arrested. And she's like,
for sure.
Am I gonna be on the news? Is KTLA here? That's a local LA news station.
Yes, I heard of the station.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just assumed she was in LA, because like that's where I guess you would try to be famous as an actor. Then.
That's the thing. Like, LA or New York, either one. But I feel like it'd be definitely more LA. Yeah, so I'm getting that kind of vibe of LA vibe from this.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like The Bling Ring, if you ever saw that.
No.
It's based on a true story about these rich kids from LA who started a thievery ring of like stealing from celebrities, and they robbed like Paris Hilton and stole a bunch of her shit. God. I think they robbed like Ashton Kutcher, but they were already rich kids. They just were stealing from these celebrities in order to like break into their houses and feel close to them, and then they like flip the stuff on Venice Beach. It was really sketchy.
Oh my goodness.
It was the dumbest thing. But this girl...
But I can see that happening in real life. But anyways, moving on.
Yeah. But this girl, she just is gonna be like a hardcore criminal. She's not like just like breaking in and like, oh, I'm gonna take some designer bags. She's like, I'm gonna be a famous like hardcore criminal. Like, she's modeling herself. Yes. Like, it would probably escalate. She'd probably start with the bank robberies and then be upset that doesn't make her famous, and she'd have like a 20-year prison sentence pending, but all she can think about is I didn't get trending on Twitter from my bank robbery.
I have new followers. Nobody cares.
No one cares. No one cares about me, Emily, Felicia Emily Karen the third. That's the third.
We already forgot her name. So she's almost famous. We can't remember her name. She's not famous, right?
No, she's not famous. But I don't know, Julia, do you think she'd ever escalate to murder?
Ooh.
Like to be a famous serial killer?
I want to say yes, just because of make it more interesting.
Yes.
I feel like, I don't know, something will go wrong. Just her being so angry that it's not getting her the status that she wants, and then she gets maybe like loses control or something like that. Maybe the first one's like an accident, and then it grows more and more into more like she's doing this on purpose.
And she's getting more, and like she's actually enjoying it. And she realizes, oh my God, Julia, it ties back into your theme of her realizing that being real is more important. And she's realizing, you know, I should start killing for the personal fulfillment that murder gives me and not for the fame.
Yes.
And that's when she finds
so
her
she's
true voice as a serial killer, is when she realizes, I need to start...
She found her calling.
She's like, I found my calling. And then, finally, when it becomes a calling, she almost gets famous.
Yes.
It's deep. You know, it's about following your dreams. It's about, you know, having a passion. It's kind of a good message.
Passion for murder.
Yeah, a passion for murder.
Oh, goodness.
Julia, I feel like this movie, I think like we need to bring a little bit of life to this story. So maybe we should, you know, show the people an example of a scene from this movie. Maybe a scene where, like, she's talking to her lawyer, where what the hell is her name? I was about to say Julia. Felicia Emily Karen III is talking to her lawyer, and her lawyer is trying to, you know, convince her that you're gonna go to jail, but all she can think about is being famous. We'll do a little improv to give the people a taste of this film we've come up with. Do you want to be Felicia Emily Karen or the lawyer?
I think I would do better as the lawyer. I really want to see you try to be
Felicia.
this.
Emily?
Try to be Felicia.
The third. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're my lawyer. You're like my agent?
Yes. No. I will be representing you in court.
Oh, court. Court, like O.J. Simpson. Are there going to be cameras?
I doubt it, seeing how nobody knows this is really that you're doing this. There's been no interest in the cameras. I'm just interested in trying to get you not go to prison.
But I robbed you're the worst agent ever. I robbed a Chase on one of the most populated streets in the city. I robbed a Chase in downtown Manhattan, and that's the, like, paparazzi central. How did they not get me on camera?
I guess they have better things to do. I don't know.
Oh my God!
Let's just focus here on your case.
You have so much negative energy. You don't believe in me. You don't believe in my dreams. Do you even have social media pages for me that you manage?
No, that's not my top priority. Sorry, I guess you're okay with this going to jail then. Okay, this makes it easy on me.
Well, I can't go to jail, because if I go to jail, how am I going to become famous? They don't even allow Instagram in jail.
I know, I feel for you. I really do. I think the world will keep going on. It's fine.
You know what? You're fired for focusing on, you know, trying to deal with this crime, because we need to move on to bigger and better things. I'm getting a new lawyer who will help me commit new crimes so that if I go to jail, I go to jail famous.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Because I'm
I do not care.
Almost famous. All right, that was a great scene, Julia. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like
it's too much.
You know, what kind of upsets me is I feel like this person exists in this era, especially.
Probably.
Like,
especially in the era of, like, people just wanting to be famous, like, especially like, all these influencers and stuff like that who are always, like, so quick to, like, get that, you know, fame and stuff like that. It's not even really that hard to get famous anymore.
Yeah,
but, like,
and, like, all these amateur comedians starting podcasts and making all their friends do it.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody I know.
I know. Like, yeah, but you're right. It's like everybody wants to be famous and have their 15 minutes right now. And a lot of people are willing to be, like, they just crave the attention and they're fine with being infamous.
Right. Like, I guess they just don't see past like, they just want to be famous. They don't see anything else. They don't have really any real goals in their life. I guess they don't care. They'll just throw it all away just so that way somebody will know their name.
That being said, Julia and I are gonna go rob a bank.
Yeah.
We're gonna go rob a bank. We're gonna become famous. We're gonna be like Thelma and Louise.
We'll be trending. Just
and
you
we're
wait.
gonna drive into the night, and we're gonna start hashtag bad bitches on the road. We're gonna rob. I mean, I used to talk about burning down our high school. Julia and I went to the same high school.
Yeah,
but that was
very
a
shitty.
joke. Kind of. I didn't want to burn it down with any people in it. I just wanted to see the Well, the building's been torn down, so dream come true. The dream has been
but now
realized.
all these kids got in this nice ass school, whatever. It's basically a college. We got the shitty old school.
Yeah. That's right. We went to a school where, like, the roofs were falling down and shit.
Yeah, there was, like, rust and, like, on the sinks and everything.
And asbestos.
There
was literally asbestos.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, like, if you support our criminal life plan, go to www.badbitchesontheroad.com. Okay, are we at the 6? Okay, we're past the 15-minute.
We're past
the 15-minute mark. Okay.
No, crime takes time, so.
Julia, thank you so much for doing this, and...
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to tell the people?
Just stay safe and take this virus seriously.
Take the fucking virus seriously.
Wear a fucking mask. That's all I gotta say.
Wear your goddamn mask. Thank you for the PSA.
Yes.
All right, wear your goddamn fucking mask and wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, and we will see you for part 2 after we watch Almost Famous. So hey guys, we are back. We have watched Almost Famous, and we're ready to talk about it. But before the lovely Julia and I get into it, I am going to keep tradition on this podcast and read the IMDb description of the movie. So the IMDb description of Almost Famous is: a high school boy is given the chance to write a story for Rolling Stone magazine about an up-and-coming rock band as he accompanies them on their concert tour. And that IMDb description neglects to mention that the high school boy is 15 years old.
He's super young. Very innocent child around all these drugs and sex, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, and we should clarify too that this is in the 70s,
yeah. Sex, drugs,
70s?
rock and roll, that kind of thing. It's like early 70s.
Early 70s, that's right. Yeah, so, okay, glaring thing about this movie, which, tell me if you agree, Julia, is just, not to be a broken record, but the age of this protagonist and the shit he is around in this movie.
Yeah.
Given the fact that he's literally a child.
I know. But this is actually loosely based on the writer/director of this movie. Like, he actually did this at 15.
Cameron Crowe, writer-director of this movie, was in fact a teenage journalist for Rolling Stone, so it's partially based on his own experience.
Yeah.
And if so, he has been traumatized.
For sure. Well, I think he kind of loved it too at moments, but it's just crazy to me. Like, I know it's like in the 70s and stuff like that, but like they just took it by his word on the phone saying, "Oh yeah, I'm an older man. He's 15 years old." I mean, like, wouldn't they just like have him fly over or have them come to him and see face to face, who they're hiring for this? Because he could be some guy trying to rip him off or something. I don't know. Like, you need to see face to face.
Yeah, that's something that struck me about this movie too. Is like, how easy was it to get away with shit in the 70s?
Right.
That like this teenager could just be like, yeah, well, he did write for the teenager did write for some local magazines, and for this magazine called Cream that was like an underground kind of music magazine. But the fact that he was just able to like pretend he was like a real adult journalist to Rolling Stone and get a Rolling Stone assignment out of nowhere, it was just insane to me.
Crazy. Also, I would like to point out the beginning of this movie it starts out with a chipmunk Christmas song, and I'm like, this is gonna be a great movie.
Christmas time is here. Yeah, I was so pumped. I was pumped about the Chipmunks music, but most of the music was not Chipmunks. It was 70s rock and roll. As this teenage journalist gets the opportunity to follow this rock band, and one of their groupies, played by also teenage Kate Hudson.
Yeah, well, the call was a band aid or whatever, but they're totally groupies.
She's a band-aid.
I'm like, okay.
I'm not a groupie. I'm a band-aid. I'm a muse.
Okay, sure. Oh, also to refer back to our predictions, obviously they were wrong. Unfortunately, I think that could have been an interesting take of it.
Yeah, no well, there was glorification of some crimes in this movie, such as having a threesome or foursome with an underage boy.
Yeah,
but there was no
low key or maybe high key sexual assault, because he wasn't really too into it. Like, they kind of pressured him into it.
Yeah, it was a little rapey, coercive in there a little bit. Yeah. It was weird, but it was a movie from 2000. This movie was made in 2000, so the things weren't quite as woke when it came to stuff like that happening in movies. It was more like, he's living such a cool life.
Yeah, I feel like,
isn't that
I
great?
think it's also because he's a guy too. If it was a girl, they would not let this happen at all.
Oh, if the protagonist of this movie was a girl, it wouldn't be a movie. It would be an episode of SVU.
Yeah, exactly.
It would not have been, like, greenlit. It would not have been made like this. It would not have been portrayed as this cool story.
Oh my god.
Our predictions were wrong. Like, there was no, both our predictions that, a girl was trying to, become infamous by committing crimes, but also our prediction that the protagonist was a girl at all, and our prediction that it was about someone trying to be famous, because this young man, like, I gotta give props to this character, is that he really does want to be a good journalist.
Right. And then, like,
he doesn't want to, like, seek fame and fortune. He's just, like, really focused on getting this
the
interview.
craft. And, like, but, like, I mean, the band itself that he's interviewing, of course, they're trying to become this big rock band. So this entire movie, throughout this movie, they are trying to become really famous. But then, of course, there's always this band drama and stuff like that. And the guitarist Russell, who basically thought he was, like, the shit, and, like, everybody else was, like, garbage. They were,
Russell.
So, but I mean, in the way of that, like, I kind of, like I said, like, on the first half of this podcast, like, I mean, it was predictable in a way. Like, they did eventually come around to being like, okay, let's get back to the music. It's not all about fame and stuff like that. Let's stick to the music and touring by bus. Because there was a portion of the movie where they got, like, this fancy manager, and it was, like, trying to pressure them to, like, do, like, tours via airplane, because that way we can do more shows. So towards the end of the movie, they're kind of going back to, like, more with the way they liked it, and being less, like, focused on just being so famous.
Yeah. I was so annoyed by the character Russell and the band as a whole, honestly.
Okay.
Like, because the journalist, the 15-year-old, is just trying to get one hour interview with him the whole time, and he keeps putting it off, like, from city to city, and this kid is missing school. And then
which I have questions about that, but continue.
No, I want to hear your questions about this child missing school to tour with this rock band.
First of all, okay, we'll get back to his mother being the strict mother, which is she's a whole other thing. But, like, so she's like, you can only miss one test and stuff like that, and, like, so I mean, he's with, I don't know, is he with this band for like a week or something like that? He's definitely missed, like, his final exams because he missed graduation. So I'm like, so did this kid graduate from high school or what? And also, if he was 15, like, well, no, wait, because it's we need to swing back to the beginning of the movie where the mother...
He skipped grades.
Like, yeah, well, his mother straight up lied to him about his age. Like, he thought he was the same age as his peers, but he was, like, 2 years younger. Something like that.
Yeah, the mom in the movie lied to the main character about his age because he was so advanced, and she wanted him to think he was the same age as his classmates.
Right.
Even though he skipped, like, 2 grades.
Oh, my God. So messed up. But, yes, I just don't... I'm, like, have questions about that, like... Anyways, but wait, so let's go back to what were you saying before I kind of, like, interrupted you?
Yeah, well, no, you didn't interrupt me. I was curious about, like, your thoughts on
this
child missing school to be with a rock band.
Yeah.
And I've gathered that your thoughts are negative on that.
Yeah. Well, also seeing that also too, beginning the movie, like this mother Elaine, like she like just treats her daughter like shit, and like lets her son get away with touring with this band and missing school, and like she's like, you have to be back for graduation, not miss one test, but obviously he, broke all of her rules, so it just, I don't know, it blows my mind.
Yeah, she was very strict with the older child, her daughter, who's played by Zooey Deschanel, and then she just lets this 15-year-old tour with a rock band, and she's portrayed as, a prude and, like, uptight for being worried about him being exposed to drugs and sex, but at the same time, again, he's 15 years old! She should be worried about him being exposed to drugs and sex while touring with a rock band!
Exactly, like, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, and he is exposed to drugs and sex. With multiple people.
I know. I don't think he ever does drugs, though.
He never does drugs, but he is exposed to drugs, and he has to watch Kate Hudson get her stomach pumped. Yeah. Kate Hudson was great in this movie, by the way. She was
really good. But also, like, I feel like he was, like, slightly turned on to her, like, getting her stomach pumped. Like, with the music that was playing in the background, I was what the hell? Is he getting a boner during this? Like, what is happening?
It's like it's an intimate moment.
Yeah.
I took it as more like he was finally seeing, like, the real her, like, how fucked up and vulnerable she was. But you could also
I like your take better, but still, like, I was like, what is happening?
But Kate Hudson getting her stomach pumped. But what else about this movie? So back to Russell douchebag.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, yeah.
Oh my god, this guy. Like, he thinks he's absolutely the shit.
Yeah, he thinks he's rock god or something.
Won't give this kid the interview. And what did you think about the scene on the plane where the band is all confessing how much they hate each other?
Oh my god. I do have to comment. I love how, like, the end of it, the band member's like, I'm gay, and they're all, like, dead silent. This is fucking great.
He's like, this is my moment to come out. And then the plane immediately goes back. So they're all, for people who haven't seen it, they almost all die in a plane crash, and they're all, like, yelling at each other about, like, I've always hated you. I slept with your wife.
Like,
blah,
basically,
blah,
like,
blah.
having
one of them is
affairs
just,
with each other's significant others.
And then one guy in the back is just like, I'm gay.
That was amazing.
It's like, that's representation. That is gay representation in Almost Famous.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, like, I feel like I was surprised by it too, because considering this movie is May 2000, like, I mean, that was kind of big, I thought.
Yeah, it's like they were like, this is gonna be a moment, this is gonna be a cultural moment, and then, nope, it's just funny.
Yeah. But then they never talked about, like, after that, like, and they just all were just quiet, and I'm like, okay, you're not gonna be like, hey, buddy, we still accept you or something? I don't know.
No, they were just quiet and, like, stared at him. Poor baby.
I know.
That was one of that actor's only lines in the movie, too. The drummer doesn't have, like, any lines.
Yeah, he was barely talking in that movie. But there are, like, a lot of, like, famous and, like, well-known actors in this movie, which is crazy.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon plays the wannabe manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then what's his name? He's very famous. Let me look up the cast. Philip Seymour Hoffman, like, he's in this movie. He was really good. He was kind of like, what would you say, a mentor-y kind of figure.
That was
William.
Philip Seymour Hoffman? The guy who
Lester
was the owner
Banks.
of Cream magazine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, holy shit. That's the president's, that's President Snow.
No, it's not President Snow.
Oh, I mean, I forget who Philip Seymour Hoffman was.
He plays Plutar, the game maker.
Never mind. I got them mixed up.
President Snow.
I got them mixed up. Anyway, yeah, I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah.
And, God, the 70s were a wild time.
Mm-hmm. And this movie actually ended up getting, like, a couple of, like, Oscar nominations, and I think they got best, like, screenwriter or something like that.
Oh,
I think I saw that. Yeah, let me see. I wrote it down somewhere. They was best original screenplay is what they won.
Oh, thank you for taking notes.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a real show now.
Yeah.
I need to write stuff like that down when I'm recording. So, yeah. That's I mean, it was well written. Like, it was a fun movie. I should say, I don't know about you, but I did really enjoy this movie. Did you, find yourself enjoying it?
I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I feel like for somebody who maybe like grew up in those times, they probably like it even more because it's around like their coming of age kind of movie for sure. Because that's a lot of reviews I was seeing, like just like people who just have watched it, who like loved it because it reminded them of that time, and they thought it was a really good coming of age story.
Yeah, no, I was watching this thinking, like, my parents would have gone crazy at this movie because of all the music that's in it from, the 60s and 70s. Like, they would have gone crazy at, like, the Elton John and all the, like, they played, like, I think Clearwater Revival at one point, and they played, just, even Stillwater. One of my parents was probably at least a fan of Stillwater because they were a real band.
I was gonna say, wait, they were a real band?
Yeah, and I don't know if they played themselves or not. I didn't look that up because I didn't really care. But
well, the lead singer is Jason Lee or something like that, who's also in the Chipmunk movie, which is kind of hilarious because the song was in the beginning of the movie.
Okay, so Stillwater didn't play themselves. I wonder how Stillwater felt about this movie.
I don't know. It was probably accurate whether they liked it or not.
It was probably accurate. They were probably all, sleeping with side chicks on the road.
And that's what we were talking about, how, like, it's kind of like frustrating, I'm sure, for William, who's the entire time trying to get an interview with Russell. I'm probably sure that's probably what happened, like, with all these rock stars, especially they were saying with these band in particular, they were saying, oh, we're just about the music, we don't want to, talk to journalists and stuff like that, or, like, ruin their vibe or whatever.
Yeah, no, I felt so bad for this kid. Like, I kept wanting to say, Russell, give the kid the interview. Like, he just needs one interview. He needs an hour of your time. You can take an hour off from, like, partying and fucking Kate Hudson in the closet.
Yeah.
Like, God. No, it was probably like that. Like, these guys probably couldn't be bothered with the critic, even though the critic was a child.
For sure. Also, Rainn Wilson was in this movie, too. Dwight.
That's right.
Yeah, I was like, this is so weird.
He was one of the guys that worked at Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So interesting. I mean, I would definitely recommend seeing this movie for sure.
I would recommend it. Like, there's some issues, but it is really entertaining. Like, and the music is great. The soundtrack is wonderful.
For sure.
All right. Any other thoughts?
I don't think so. I think we already kind of addressed, like, my main questions about this movie. But I mean, it was. I enjoyed watching it. It was good.
Yeah,
for sure.
It makes me wanna, just when COVID's over, Julia, let's get all our buddies together and let's rent a bus.
Rent a tour bus.
Rent a tour bus. Let's play some Elton John. Let's drive down the street. Let's get some groupies or band-aids to come with us, and let's all just, sing and smoke some dope and pretend it's the 70s.
All right, I'm down.
I'm down. Our post-COVID road trip that we're gonna take.
Yes, anything is better than what we're going through right now.
Anything is. That's the slogan for 2020. Anything is better than now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing this, Julia.
Thanks for having me. I would love to come on again for sure. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and thank you for taking notes.
No problem.
Right. We gotta go, but thank you all for listening, and thank you again, Julia. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was episode 4, episode Quattro. If you put all of our episodes so far up against each other, they would be a square. Anyway, thank you for listening, and if you like that, please follow us on Spotify, or you can subscribe to the Judging by the Title YouTube channel. Thank you. See you next time.